At AMA Insurance, we talk to thousands of physicians every year about the exciting topic of insurance. Whether it's a new medical student or a retired physician, we work with physicians at all phases of their medical career. And every year, we get a lot of questions about disability insurance, especially finishing residents, as they proceed to the next phase of their career. Hi, I'm Daryl Huber from AMA Insurance, and today we wanted to share with you some of the more common questions we get regarding disability insurance. Let's start with some basics. What is disability insurance? Simply put, it's insurance that provides a portion of your income if you become sick or injured and you're not able to work. So if you rely on a paycheck to pay your living expenses, disability insurance should be very important to you. Believe it or not, as a resident, you probably already have disability insurance through your teaching hospital. An AMA House of Delegate resolution back in 1992 made a recommendation for programs to make this protection available. In a lot of cases, we find that residents don't even know they're covered. Regardless, this coverage will most likely end when you complete your residency. With me today is one of our insurance specialists, Kendra Henderson. Kendra fields a significant number of calls on the topic of disability insurance, and today she'll share with you some of those questions, along with the answers. And in addition, maybe some questions that you should be asking that you haven't even thought of. Hi, Kendra.
Hi, Daryl.
Hey, let's just jump right in. Most residents transitioning into practice will receive some level of disability insurance as part of their benefit package. In your experience, what are some of the things that they should know about this employer coverage?
A couple of things to know about employer coverage. Employer plans are kind of a one size fits all. They're not specialty specific, especially to physicians. They may cover other people in the teaching hospital. Also, the monthly benefit is low. It may not cover living expenses, especially for residents or attendings for that matter. One other thing to know, or a couple other things to know, monthly benefit, if it's employer paid, those benefits could possibly be taxed when they are needed upon reporting a disability. So they may get a small portion, but that may be even smaller if it is taxed. And the other biggest one for me is that coverage is not portable. So when they leave their teaching hospital, that coverage is not going with them. They'll lose that coverage.
Okay. And I know in my experience, one of the more common questions and really probably one of the more important things about a disability coverage is the definition of disability. Can you provide some information on why that's so important and really what that means in regards to the coverage?
Sure, absolutely. So the definition of disability, every insurance company that underwrites disability has their own definition that fits their plan. The reason that you need to know the definition of the disability plan that you have is so that if you should file a claim, you'll know what steps that you need to take to be able to receive that disability benefit. Each definition of disability is different, and each one has their own specific, for lack of a better term, steps that you have to follow to be able to file that disability.
So it's really the genesis of whether or not you're going to be eligible for the benefit if you meet that specific definition.
Absolutely. Okay. The definition of disability decides if you're eligible for the benefits or not.
Can you share maybe an example, maybe the range of definitions that are out there that you see in different insurance products?
Sure. There are individual true own specialty definitions. What that means is if you became disabled in your own specialty, you'd be able to receive those benefits. There are other definitions such as like a modified own occupation, which is actually the definition of disability for our product, Disability Pro. It's a modified own occupation, meaning you can't be engaged in any form of work during the waiting period. And then after the waiting period, this will pay you benefits based on your own occupation.
And on the low end of the definition spectrum, there's things like any occupation. So if you're disabled and you can do any occupation, you wouldn't be eligible. So like I said, the key is understanding there's a wide range of definitions, and that's really one of the more important things that these finishing residents need to be aware of as they compare products, and do their research on disability. How about any other additional benefits, features, optional riders that they should be aware of or take into consideration as they're looking into this coverage?
Absolutely. So there are some key benefits, optional riders that you should be looking at as a resident. One of my biggest ones as a resident is a future increase option. What that is right now as a resident, your income is very low. They're not making much money, so their disability benefits are also very low. As their income increases, they have the option to increase their disability. And that's what that future increase option does, is you're eligible to increase your disability. So that's one thing residents should definitely be looking at as they're shopping around for disability.
And Kendra, on that future increase, so they would be eligible for that future increase, but they wouldn't have to go through any more health exams or any additional underwriting. They'd be eligible at a certain point in the future to
Correct.
apply.
Future increase option means they don't have to go through medical underwriting again. That's the reason it's on the rider, is they can just increase their disability when their income increases.
Okay. Any others that they should be aware of?
With our Disability Pro product, we have something called our student loan payoff. That's a benefit if you became totally and permanently disabled and you weren't able to go back to work. This coverage would pay up to $200,000 in student loan benefits. Another one that we find really helpful is our cost of living adjustment. That rider helps their monthly benefit keep pace with inflation if they go on claim. Okay. So if they had, let's say, for example, they were getting $1,000 in monthly benefit, the $1,000 a month they're getting now, 15 years from now is not going to buy the same amount of groceries as it does now, right? So that's what that COLA rider does. It helps their monthly benefit keep pace with inflation.
Okay.
And probably the rider that I talk to most of my physicians and residents about, that I see the most helpful, is catastrophic disability. Disability insurance is insurance. It's in case insurance, right? It's in case something happens. So the catastrophic disability is in case you have a catastrophic disability. And a catastrophic disability is defined that you can't perform at least 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. So if you can't feed yourself and dress yourself, this is going to pay an additional benefit on top of your base disability to cover things like if you need long-term nursing care or in-home care, that additional funds can cover those additional costs that you're going to incur due to a catastrophic disability.
A lot of moving parts to disability. That's why I think we get so many questions about it, because it can be a little bit more complicated. There's more options to choose from, and there's more things to take into consideration based on your income and a number of different variables that come into play. So I think that's a very important reason to reach out to talk to somebody like Kendra to understand your options. Can you give a sense of what the process would look like, especially from our perspective, if someone were interested in disability insurance, what that process would look like?
Sure. So you call one of our insurance specialists, such as myself, or one of the other insurance specialists on my team. Ask us any questions that you have. All of our insurance specialists are very knowledgeable in this product. The way the process works, if you wanted to apply for disability, is you do an application over the phone with us. It's a very short application. Once the application's done, we send it to you via email for DocuSign. Once you've signed it, then it goes to our underwriting team. And then one of our paramed service would reach out to you to do a telephone interview. Basically what that is a medical history questionnaire that you do over the phone. It's like going to your doctor and answering medical questions. Once you've done the telephone interview, at the end of that call, they're going to schedule a time to come out to your home or medical office for a couple labs. That's a height, weight, blood pressure, blood and urine sample. It's usually really quick, takes about 20, 30 minutes when they come out, if that. They're going to come out, draw those labs, get your height, weight, blood pressure. All of that information will then go to the underwriter, who will then review your case. Sometimes they'll require medical records, not all the time, but they'll review the case. And then at that point, they'll get back to us with, you're either approved or declined. And then if you're declined, then we'll start the payment process. That process we try to make very streamlined and painless as well. But you don't pay anything to go through the underwriting process. So going through the process, you can, find out what the final premium will be before you make a payment.
Awesome. Okay. Well, hey, Kendra, I appreciate you sharing some information about disability insurance. And, from a finishing residence perspective, the thing that I tell everybody is the largest asset you have is your ability to make an income. You've invested a lot of time, effort, and money to get to this point of your career through medical school and residency. So it's extremely important to protect that moving forward. I would highly encourage you to reach out to one of our insurance specialists. They're non-commissioned agents. They'll answer your questions. They'll point you in the right direction, and if it's a right fit, we'll be more than happy to help you. But more than anything, do your research. Make sure you're protected and covered in your future endeavors. So once again, Kendra, thanks for the time today. And if you have any questions, please reach out and contact us, and we'll be more than happy to help.